Welcome back, dear viewers, and thank you for staying with us here on The Breakfast Show. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli followed up on efforts exerted by the Environment Ministry to solve investors' problems and support the investment climate in Egypt. Madbouli also highlighted the state's keenness in addressing problems that impede investment in line with directives issued by His Excellency President Sisi. This came during Madbouli's meeting Thursday with Environment Minister Dr. Yasmin Fouad. And to shed more light on the issue, we are delighted to have with us over the phone Ms. Amira Saeed, and she is a journalist. Ms. Amira, very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. And first of all, how do you evaluate the efforts exerted by the Environment Ministry to solve investment problems and support the investment climate in Egypt?
Good morning. Yeah, definitely the Egyptian government is giving a top priority to enhancing more investments in Egypt and to overcome all the obstacles that may face investors. And definitely also this goes in tandem with Egypt's keenness on introducing and putting into consideration the environmental dimensions while attracting all these investments. And this is the main target of the recent meeting between the Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, and the Environment Minister, Dr. Yasmin Fouad. They tackled and discussed how to solve the investors' problems, how to enhance the investment climate in Egypt. And actually, this also goes in tandem with and in line with the presidential initiatives and directives in this regard. And here we would like to shed light on the Environment Ministry's efforts in order to ensure that even the industrial projects, they put into consideration the environmental dimensions. We know that Egypt has successfully hosted COP27, and Egypt also has its own vision to promote the environmental issues. So during the meeting, they first reviewed the system related to issuing the environmental approvals to the industrial projects. For example, one of the obstacles that face the investor is the long period to get these approvals. So in this meeting, Minister Fouad clarified that now they have shortened the period of issuing all these approvals to 7 days instead of 30 days. So definitely this is also a step forward. Another topic that was tackled in this important meeting is how to attract more investments to upgrade and enhance the efficiency of natural reserves. We know that Egypt is rich in this regard, and also it has an ambitious plan to further enhance the sustainable tourism. Yeah.
Right. Ms. Amira, so could you tell us more about the role of the private sector when it comes to investing in the voluntary carbon market, which aims to offset CO2 emissions, of course? The private sector's role, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Enhancing the carbon markets is now a global trend to curb the emissions. And actually, at COP27, many sessions tackled how to promote the carbon markets. So now Egypt also is targeting the private sector, how to increase the investments by the private sector in the voluntary carbon markets to put the brakes on the CO2 emissions. And I think that now in the upcoming period, you will witness more steps forward in this regard. Yeah.
Okay, and what about the facilities provided by the Environment Ministry to boost sustainable and natural parks tourism?
Yeah, definitely now sustainable tourism is now we can say that the main target of many tourists worldwide. They now want to visit places that are eco-friendly, well-preserved. Egypt has a great wealth in this regard. Egypt is rich in the natural reserve. For example, we have the natural reserves in Nafq, Ras Mohammed, Wadi Rayyan. So definitely now the Environment Ministry is trying to lure more investments in order to increase the efficiency of all these natural reserves. Yeah.
Yes, and how important is it to boost recycling projects, which I guess is also part of, the environmentally friendly businesses, the recycling projects? How important is it?
Yeah, definitely. When we are speaking about like recycling or sustainability, this is part and parcel of Egypt's Vision 2030, which targets like the sustainable development. Sustainable development has economic and environmental aspect as well. So whenever you have a project, you should put into consideration both sides, the environmental dimension and also the economic profits. And actually, Egypt is giving a top priority to ensure that all the industrial projects, for example, now we have many like sustainable cities. The new cities now they are like abiding by the environmental guidelines. So I think also in the upcoming period we'll witness more, for example, sustainable transport, sustainable cities. And also here I'd like to refer to the coordination between the Tourism Ministry and Environment Ministry and training the staff. We have seen, like in the recent period, many training programs where targeting the staff who are working in the tourism sector, how to like ensure that they are abiding by the environmental rules. So we have seen many steps being taken on the real ground. Yeah.
Yes, so Ms. Amira, there are many sectors where it is important to have environment-friendly activities, like the tourism sector. You mentioned the tourism sector. What other sector, the agricultural sector, I'm sure also, or the industrial sector at large, could you talk to us about the guidelines of keeping the activities environmentally friendly in the different sectors in order to achieve sustainable development in a way that combats global warming and achieves climate change goals, and at the same time achieve growth?
Yeah, definitely. When we are talking about like environmental projects or green tourism, we mean like green hotels, eco-friendly diving centers, electric buses. These are like some of the main elements of the sustainable tourism sector in Egypt. And in general, when we are talking about sustainable tourism, this is the tourism that takes into account the current and future economic, social, and also environmental impacts. This also like applies to all other sectors. If you want to have sustainable, for example, transport, we have to make sure that these transport do not add to the emissions. And actually, we have seen a successful example in COP27 when Sharm el-Sheikh, it has been a green city. It was like using the renewable energy. We have seen like the sustainable and eco-friendly transport. And now there is like ongoing work in order to turn the tourism sector, for example, in the Red Sea city of Sharm el-Sheikh also which is one of the main tourist destinations in Egypt, to keep it like a friendly green sector. And we have seen also the ongoing coordination between the ministries concerned. We have the Ministry of Environment, we have the Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Civil Aviation. Also, we have seen many cooperation protocols that were signed in the last period, and also these the outcomes of these projects and protocols, they are being reviewed on regular basis with the Prime Minister, Mustafa Madbouli, to follow up on the progress being achieved. So we have moved in Egypt from vision into action when we are talking about sustainable development, when we are talking about like environmental progress.
Right, Ms. Amira, and I guess we are building on the success of COP27 when Egypt played a leading role globally, not only in hosting the big event, but also in mediating between the developed and developing world in order, to get the one vision for the sake of the planet, for the sake of humanity. Finally, could you expand on that? Egypt working on building on its success in COP27 and trying to achieve to lead by example in achieving the sustainable development goal of combating climate change and global warming.
Yes. From day one, Egypt's vision regarding COP27 was very clear, which is together for implementation. Egypt adopted a holistic approach in order to move from vision into action, how to turn pledges into real projects and implementation. And we have seen that the outcomes came, like Egypt has managed to reach unprecedented steps like having a fund for loss and damage. This was like unprecedented move that received a positive reactions worldwide. Egypt and its main target was together for implementation. It adopts a holistic approach. It wants the participation of both the private and public sector. Civil society also plays a major role. We have also many sessions target like youth role in combating climate change. So definitely COP27, it has been a turning point in the history of COP. It was full of many firsts. The first decision to have a fund for loss and damage. The first country to have youth envoy as well. We have seen many steps forward in COP27, and COP28 will build on the success of this COP. And from day one, also Egypt said that this is not only Egypt's COP, it's Africa's COP. Though Africa contributes the least to the global emissions, it is the most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. So Egypt successfully highlighted the demands and priorities of the African continent.
Right, Ms. Amira. And lastly, when we are working to save the environment, we have to use cleaner energy, depend less on the energy tools that pollute the air, and use renewable energy and so on. Could you talk to us about that file? How important is it to rely on renewables to protect the environment at the same time, again, when we are aiming to achieve high rates of growth? I think, yes, Ms. Amira?
Yes.
Are you with us?
Yes. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So
yeah.
I was asking about the renewables and the importance of using renewable energy in our big industrial projects and in every sector in order to protect the environment at the same time when we are aiming at high growth rates.
Yeah, actually, Egypt is working on increasing the supply of electricity generated from renewable sources to 42 by 2035, according to the Ministry of Electricity. And on real ground, we have seen many great projects. For example, the Bank Solar Project, which is the biggest in the Middle East and Africa in Aswan. This is a major project. We have also the wind farm in Za'farana. And Egypt already has set many clear goals. Egypt wants to be a hub for renewable energy in the region, and I guess we will reach this target very soon in light of the steps being implemented. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for your rich input, Ms. Amira Said, journalist. Thank you very much. It was very informative. Dear viewers, that is all we have for this edition of The Breakfast Show for this morning. On behalf of my dear colleague Dina Hussein and everybody here at The Breakfast Show, this is Muhammad Abdurrahim wishing you a very good day. Tomorrow, a new team and a new show. Please stay with Nile TV International. Goodbye.